what was the first thing you guys thought of each other the first time you met each other? What's the first thing that come to mind?
Like in the flesh?
We have a very bad attitude in person. On camera, we're more reasonable.
Look at that charisma. I was just blinded by all of that.
I thought Louis is taller than I expected.
I think I thought the same. I'm Benoit Beauséjour. I'm the CTO here at Turbulent, and so creating this studio is a really great opportunity, and I think that we're lucky to have Louis, Pierre-Luc, and Guillaume with us on this journey to build a super amazing locations team here in Montreal. And so I met all these guys separately, which was interesting, but the pitch for the job interview was really about, kickstarting a new studio from scratch in an existing family. And so to be able to get there, we needed a group of very motivated, pillars to get this started. And I
You
think
even bought us beers.
that's true.
Beers and the food.
I did. That's how I got you guys on board, right? Okay, so I thought we would start by just going around the table and just introduce ourselves and what you guys do at this new studio in Montreal.
All right. Well, I'll start if you guys are okay with it. I'm Louis Rousseau, lead designer at Turbulent. I am responsible for all the location and design aspect of why this location is there, what is the player doing while he's there, and that kind of consideration. That's my jam.
Pierre-Luc Boulet, I'm art director here in Montreal. Basically, I'm art directing and leading an amazing team of artists. I cannot express how much I'm happy and I am humble and I have gratitude to lead this amazing team full of talent. Without them, we are nothing, and I just want to make sure that everybody knows about it.
All right, and I'll bookend that topic. So basically, I'm Guillaume Vogel. I'm the producer here. So taking care of schedule, taking care of dependencies, and making sure we have a good planning to actually deliver really good quality and defining the vision of the studio. Lots of recruiting and talking to a lot of people and assembling a kick-ass team. So let's go over a bit of our history. So how did you guys where do you come from and how do you guys get started and got to this point here?
I started in the industry in 2003 and 2004. I was coming out of university and mostly in a cinematography kind of study.
I didn't know you had a background in cinema. That's interesting. I do too. I did my university degree in cinema, and then after a few years working the sets, I've transitioned to a level design formation, which got me into Ubisoft.
We're just crossing street. We're just crossing street together, following each other from a studio to another. So I worked for Ubisoft like 8 years, mostly on the Tom Clancy franchise. So I worked on many Rainbow Sixes. Traveled a bit for Ubisoft, L2, and some project like Red Steel in Paris and stuff.
And I also returned to Ubisoft briefly before I finally caught up to you. That's an achievement.
We all caught up to Benoit.
Oh my god. Sure. I mean, yeah, you guys heard it before, but I joined the project right after the first Kickstarter, and I've been supporting all the platform efforts since the beginning. And fast forward into the future, to the subject of today, where we start a locations team to expand, the world of Star Citizen. And so basically, the story is transitioning to the game space and really help make the project a reality. And then that's where you guys come in.
All right. So basically, I started as a tester in video games. I remember my first gig was a multiplayer testing weekend on Rainbow Six Raven Shield, and I had to bring my my big CRT screen and my desktop tower on the metro. I moved then to EEA Montreal for my first big AAA job as an assistant producer, and that's really when I took the production track, and then switched to Warner, where obviously I met Pierre-Luc, and then I started working on the DLCs for Batman Arkham Knight with Rocksteady, and I figured it was an interesting time to completely change and immigrate to London. So I switched. I went to live in London and work at Rocksteady. And finally, I was missing Montreal. I was missing friends and family. So I decided to come back, and I decided to go to Ubisoft. And during that time, Pierre-Luc and we had really reconnected, and we've started looking for other opportunities together, and we found Turbulent. So it feels we're at a unique opportunity at a unique point in time. It feels absolutely amazing to be in this position.
So guys, we came here with a very specific mission. So maybe we should talk a bit about that. Guillaume, why don't you, in your own words, explain what it is we're trying to achieve here?
Oh, I'm getting spotlighted. I'm surprised it wasn't given to Pierre-Luc.
No hesitation. I'm just gonna.
Basically, our goal eventually is to go at a level where our team can produce entire star systems.
We don't want to create only like nice vista. We want to create content that bring purpose to the brand and to the IP and to the project. So every hire we make, every decision we make, it's going toward that goal. Of course, it won't happen like in 3 months, but this is always the end goal.
And by that, we mean not only locations or not only design, like to have an integrated team that can work alongside the other teams at CIG and collaborate, but eventually be able to say, okay, let's do this star system and really develop it as much as possible, including gameplay, including a lot of things.
Right. So in order for the team to reach or graduate to being able to make full star systems, obviously this doesn't happen overnight. The team needs some real projects that they can deliver to players that they can play, right? We know of a couple things that are in Stanton that would add gameplay value, right? So we know that we're adding rooftop gameplay, hospital locations, which is brand new as well, and leveraging procedural tools to make a lot of variations to all of those.
We are, I want to say, blessed to receive a shot at this. Like, the timing was just good for us to look at these locations and say, what if I was able to land a ship there, like I already can, but what if I could go inside? What would I find? What kind of missions would I do on New Babbage? What kind of mission would I do on Lorville? And essentially give a reason for the players to stick around on a planet for a while and not just be QTing like a ping pong ball all the time, but just say like, yeah, I love New Babbage. I can spend a lot of time here and then experience the planet more thoroughly.
We're producing right now the hospitals for every major landing zone, and down the road we'll build them for the space station too. We are already hands-on producing those nice locations that you will get the chance to see soon enough in Lorville, in Grimex, on ArcCorp, on New Babbage and Horizon. And we're going to expand those hospitals across the verse as we still continue to grow and learn all together in this crazy COVID time.
We've been lucky to have Guillaume, Benjamin, and Valentin reaching out and wanting to look at this opportunity. The goal for them is to build up a solution that's really oriented around layouts. Our first proof of concept is space station. So how can we help the workflow for the space station for artists and designers to build them more quickly? The second phase will be looking into developing rules in Houdini so that the Houdini can actually generate layouts, and for those layouts to be then edited by a person, and at least on the space station, and maybe then in some caverns or locations like that we can actually give more gameplay to the player without sacrificing any terms of quality.
The thing is, like, even on the design side, like the way Star Citizen is developed is truly unique. There's really no competition that I can think of here in Montreal that offers an opportunity like that to really craft and focus on well, I guess you said it best, Pierre, like kick-ass mandates and just like deliver that and then move on to the next and expand and keep growing like that.
One thing that we've obviously this segment is about this new group and this new team, but this team would be nothing without, the CIG family just totally embracing this effort.
Well, I hope these guys, the viewers and everyone like knows that we're fans as well. We're not just like here on a business like to make a game. Like we are working on Star Citizen as a privilege, and it's like we play the game, we share the same sentiment that many other players are sharing.
We've been looking at the reception that you guys had on the derelict and on the news that we've given so far, and the reception is really nice, and it's heartwarming to see that.
Like we hear you, we read what you have to say, we listen to the videos and all of that, and it's really just a real pleasure to put like our shoulders to the wheel and try to make this behemoth move forward. So yeah, thanks for having us.
I'm sure that we're going to be able to do great things, and just watch us go.
My biggest wish is that we get to contribute as much as we can to this project, by helping other teams, by shipping locations, by inheriting mandates and contributing to the larger whole, which is ultimately we all have the same objective, which is to make the biggest baddest space MMO ever made.
The new game development studio that's been formed under the Turbulent umbrella is an exciting new addition to the Cloud Imperium Games family, and their mandate of bringing new gameplay to existing locations, creating a bevy of hospitals for medical gameplay, and advancing our modular systems will be exciting preludes to their ultimate objective, the creation of entire star systems. You can expect we'll be checking in with them on all of our programs moving forward. But up next, it's sprint report time, so let's get to it. Starting things off this week is the VFX team, who's been working to address an issue with the readability of ship thrusters at distance, which has been virtually non-existent in the past, where you can have swarms of ships without the life and energy in them that we're looking for. This issue actually becomes compounded with the recent addition of gas clouds, where ships and debris can become obscured completely at greater ranges. Now, to that end, the team has begun working on applying the same long-distance emissive particles currently used for missiles to the ship thrusters. And while it's still early days and there's a lot of finessing left to do, the initial work already makes quite a change to the scene as it is. As the team continues polishing that, they've also identified the missing ship contrails as an issue they'd like to prioritize. They were lost in the effects package that was originally implemented for gas clouds, and the VFX team is eager to bring them back with gas cloud specific effects for added visual benefit. And all this same work will also benefit flight in atmosphere during things like sandstorms and other inclement weather. Moving on to the environment teams, more harvestables are being concepted in development for the upcoming Pyro system, including these devil pods of Pyro 4. Referred to as the animate tree, this is a dried and expansive stalk that grows pods that can be harvested by citizens for the manufacture of heat-resistant textiles. Of the 8 options seen here, we're thinking 5 and 6 are the ones that will likely move forward. There's also Jara's Veil, a wind anemone of Pyro 3 of frilly, brightly colored plants designed to grow on the edge of cliffs instead of feeding on soil. Their flower-like growths can be collected and used for medical study. Current thinking is that options 1 and 2 will be moving forward here. Speaking of the Pyro system, it wouldn't be a sprint report without a look at the continuing progress of our colonialism outposts being worked on for Pyro and other frontier systems. Now this week, the props team has begun whiteboxing out some of the various accoutrements that may one day fill the interior spaces. Things like beds, rugs that will eventually get some nice physicalized deformation so they really tie the rooms together, all manner of lamps, drapes that can hang in front of windows and diffuse the runtime lighting in new and exciting ways, and some righteous pottery to unchain the melodies of our hearts. That's a joke for the 90s people who will understand that reference. Moving on to vehicles, in the most recent monthly report, available each month on the RobertSpaceIndustries.com website, check it out, We mentioned new gold standard work on the tried and true Aegis Saber, and you can see here that process beginning with the cutting in of panels for the various ship components. Now we'll be following along with the further interior and exterior developments throughout the quarter. For the Hercules Starlifter, the EU Vehicle Content team recently added a slew of inventory storage compartments to the area above the main cargo hold. Now these will be important access points for the upcoming local inventory system we recently discussed with Rich Tyrer on Calling All Devs. Check that out if you haven't already. They've also begun work on the cluster bomb mechanisms for the A2 variant, and all I'm going to say at this point is, don't ever find yourself underneath an A2. It's not going to go well for you. And finally, before we let you go this week, the same content team has been pushing forward on the Redeemer, further developing the exterior look and feel of this unique offering from Aegis. Now, focus during this sprint was on the thrusters and the glows to ensure they were nice and prominent, with a stronger visual profile than what we've had before. There's been some struggle getting the turrets to feel just right with the overall shape and silhouette in recent months, so we expect more tinkering there in the coming weeks. Also to get more tinkering is the belly of the ship, which had not gone through final art at the time these images were captured. We're aiming for a less boxy underside than you can see here. So what did we learn this week? Well, we learned that our partners at Turbulent, in addition to Star Citizen's web, platform, and services work, have now branched out into game development with the creation of a new studio focused on persistent universe locations. That their road ahead towards creating new star systems begins with helping to flesh out our beloved Stanton. And that ships like the Saber, the Hercules, and the legendary Redeemer are now closer than ever before to realizing their full promise and impact on the verse. Now, keep an eye out for the release of Alpha 13 to our live servers today, if it hasn't happened already by the time you watch this. For Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. We'll see you all next week.